Alright, cool. Well, everyone, welcome to Super Paper Mario. Sit back and relax, we'll be here for a hot minute.
Oh yeah.
Shoutouts to everyone who donated for the file name. It ended up being The Law. And I already have my file set up to that. We still have a donation going for Cud Shout, which is really cool. You can tell a pixel what to say in 8 characters or less, and that is in 5-2, which will be about 2 hours in. So you got 2 more hours to donate for that. But without further ado, I believe should I just start a countdown, boys? Like whenever. Cool. Alrighty. Run starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, gamer.
Let's go, gamers. Let's play some Paper Mario. Alright, so for anyone who doesn't know much about this game, just know that there is a lot of text mashing. So I'm going to be pressing 1 and 2 for a solid like 35% of this run. But no, this game's actually really cool. It's the game that came in between Thousand Year Door and Sticker Star, so, you know, quite the big jump. But, it's for the Wii, it's really cool. I recommend anyone who hasn't played it, we should give it a try, but yeah, so we're gonna be running it today. The premise of this run is just any percent. It'll just be beating the game as fast as possible, which also happens to be like 4 hours, 4.5 hours, so we'll be here for a minute.
Trihex put it best when he used the term vanilla gameplay. There's a lot of cool tricks and glitches within Super Paper Mario, but there aren't any sequence breaks. So you beat through every single level in Super Paper Mario, and you just do it as fast as possible, using as much movement tech as you possibly can.
I honestly had no idea Trihex even commented on this game before. So
well, he didn't say it specifically about Super Paper Mario.
Okay,
he just said, yeah, he used the term
here.
vanilla gameplay, which describes Super Paper Mario really well.
Yeah, that does actually do a really good job describing this game. It is, especially casually, for anyone that may or may not be a Vine Sauce fan, Vinny just did a playthrough of this game like about a month back, and he ended up thinking it was a really cool game, it was a good game, but it ended up being pretty vanilla, especially towards the end. But regardless, the run's pretty cool because we kind of spice it up a bit and go really fast in a lot of areas, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you for the good luck, everyone, by the way. Shoutouts to a couple other runners of the game, Slopdop. I see a couple people from the Discord, Omega Raptor, Zimbo. Pretty cool people. Shoutout Glitch PhD, also another great runner of this game. So yeah, right now what's been happening as I've been talking, this is basically prologue. This is the first cutscene in the game, which is very, very long. And
yeah, about 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, so can you slow down? I can't read the text. My bad. I'll take it slow a little bit. But yeah, so the story, actually I'll let Flash describe the story throughout this run, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So the beginning that you kind of saw through here, you start off with Mario and Luigi. They're about to go out and visit the Princess Peach in her castle, and a Toad tells you that she's been kidnapped. So they go to check on Bowser, because who else would kidnap Princess Peach other than Bowser? And they show up at his place because he left the gate unlocked. And instead of Bowser actually kidnapping Princess Peach, there's a new villain, Count Bleck, who kidnapped Princess Peach. And in the intro of the game, you'll notice that Princess Peach and Bowser were married by Count Bleck, kind of like if Odyssey came to pass. if you failed Odyssey, I guess. So what happens is he used the book that he carries, the Dark Prognosticus, to destroy all worlds, as he puts it, by marrying Princess Peach, pure of heart, and Bowser, who's evil, and marries them together to create that huge void in the background. So you're seeing Merlin here, and he gives you the first pure heart, and the goal is to collect all 8 pure hearts so that you can destroy the Chaos Heart and to defeat Count Bleck.
So yeah, this game was basically Mario Odyssey in 2007. So, but no, the game's story is definitely like arguably probably the best part of this game, especially casually. I first played this game when I was 7, and I still love it to this day, and I'm at college right now, so it's stuck with me for a long time, and I'm glad to be running it. But
Yeah.
But yeah, so a couple cool things that I just did towards the beginning was right after Merlin gave me the pure heart, I was told to take the elevator down, but it's actually faster to just jump off the edge, and you can land right next to the pillar. So that's a pretty cool thing. And now we're just
Yeah,
heading
a lot of...
back
Oh,
to
sorry,
Merlin.
go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of the Super Paper Mario any % route is just basically like you take your first casual playthrough and you remember all the tricks, all the codes, all the different things, and then you just go straight through it the first time. Like Tippy tells you, hey, take the elevator, but knowing that just jumping off the edge and being right there in front of the Pure Heart pillar, that saves you approximately like a minute and a half just doing all these different things that you already know about in a run.
Yeah, I actually have a small paper right next to me with all the codes I need throughout the run, so it's really cool.
Yeah, so you're seeing through here all of the different enemies that you'll be fighting throughout the run. All but Nastasia. She's the only one in this room that you don't actually fight, but you'll fight Count Bleck, O-Chunks, Mimi, if you can guess which one's Mimi, and Dimension.
Yeah, the characters in this game, especially the Bleck's minions, have quite personalities. Quite the interesting personalities, so my favorite personally is O-Chunks. It's unfortunately that you don't get to see what he's saying, but
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
yeah, he's a goofball for sure. So finally,
Yes.
though, right after this cutscene, we're actually going to be starting some gameplay, which is sick. So
Nice, nice.
hype for that.
But yes, Red, that all of the codes are consistent throughout the run. That would be a nightmare if you had to like relearn all the different codes. This run would probably be like 2 hours longer if you had to relearn all the codes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to like grind in the hamster wheel in a segment that you'll see coming up here.
Oh no.
And pretty
Oh.
soon.
Jeez, that sounds terrifying. We'll get to that eventually, though. So
Yep. So you'll see JCR here doing a lot of different tech. Like whenever he starts a movement, you'll notice that he always jumps because it saves the acceleration. Because rather than building up speed, you can just jump and you start your acceleration right at the very.
yeah, just like I did there. So another cool thing I did was while that cutscene was going on, I was actually pointing the Wii Remote to the screen, and I used, for the first time in this run, I used Tippy's ability, which is whenever you point the Wii Remote at the screen, you can basically search for invisible things. We'll be doing that for just a couple times throughout the run, but it's a pretty cool mechanic. So, oh, and another thing to talk about is we'll eventually be getting pixels all throughout the run. Pixels are pretty cool. They're basically this game's version of partners, except they kind of float around. And shout out to Omega Raptor. But they kind of float around and they give Mario different abilities. as the partners themselves back in TTYD gave, like, they used abilities by themselves, but this game actually sort of gives Mario abilities. Like, for example, the first pixel that we're getting will give us the ability to, like, throw the pixel and grab different things, so it's pretty cool.
Yep. One of those pixels that we're going to be getting later is Cudge, actually, and so there's this little cutscene when you meet each pixel, and Cudge actually does, like, he screams at the screen, and it's, like, pretty funny. So, and that's actually one of our donations incentives, so if you guys want to do !donate, that's the right command.
Yeah, I believe there's 4 different options to choose for
Okay.
that. So.
I don't want to be plugging the wrong command. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. You're good. So, I'm doing a couple weird things here. It's actually interesting. There's 2 different ways to do this beginning route here, and I am doing it a separate way. Flash, if you'd like to explain the difference, that'd be sick.
Yeah. So, you'll see a bunch of squiglets through here. This is a really easy way to level up and to grind points, as you've seen. Quickly went to level 1 within a matter of seconds. But there's 2 routes: the live stream jump route and the non-live stream jump route. So basically, one way, live stream jump saves about 2 minutes. But the problem is, it's a frame perfect jump, and it's about 14 minutes into the run. It's just kind of one of those tricks that, like, if you mess it up, you have to reset. So due to being marathon safe, we're going to actually get all the pixels and everything in this next segment. But it also helps you to where you can level up a lot faster, and you can beat a lot of the bosses easier. So there's a lot of perks to doing this run marathon safe.
Yeah, for sure. The live stream jump route saves about 2 minutes in chapter 1-2, so it is
Big time save.
Yeah, it's a big time save, especially for all the top runners. And it's a pretty difficult trick too, so.
Yeah. It's just unfortunately not a very RTA viable trick. Yeah, that would be really nice, Omega Raptor, if we had a more consistent setup. Unfortunately, it's all just getting better at the trick, learning the visual cue.
Yeah, I was like, part of me was debating about doing it, but I prefer to be marathon safe, because technically I could do it and I wouldn't die from the trick. I would just be losing a bunch of time like I am right now because I forget what route I'm doing at the moment.
Gotta grab them coins, man.
Yeah, that's part of the LSJ route that I'm not supposed to do.
How many coins did you? Okay, never mind.
I didn't. And Omega Raptor, yeah, I will be. So, but we'll get to that way
JCR
later.
is an absolute madman and loves doing his frame perfect jumps. Really good at those frame perfect.
I love me some 1 frames. So yeah, right now, we're actually, if you saw to the right when I entered the pipe, there was a huge gap, and where there is normally supposed to be a bridge. So our only way to progress is by talking to this red gatekeeper, and he kind of keeps charge of all the gates, or well, like this specific gate. So we have to talk to him, flip him out of 3D because he somehow got in 3D, and then he'll put the bridge down for us. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, conveniently enough, his name is Red, and the other guy's name is Green.
Yeah, Green's a bit more stubborn, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's the guy that makes us lose 2 minutes.
Yeah. So right now what I'm doing is I'm actually talking to How's It, who you will be seeing all throughout this run. He's a great man, I love him. But I'm buying 1 shell shock right here. So the reason I'm doing that is because I will need that shell shock for a little bit later into the run, but we'll of course get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, so his current inventory setup is he has a Shell Shock, a Fire Burst, another Shell Shock, and a Mushroom Shake. So the 2 Shell Shocks are both going to be used on Bowser fights. The Fire Burst will be used for helping Peach in pre-Chapter 2, and the Mushroom Shake is for safety in Chapter 6, when there's going to be a lot of fighting. It's kind of like a nice little backup strat.
For sure, it actually saves a lot of time.
Yeah, because if you get too low HP, you gotta go heal at the end, which is pretty big time loss. So it's kind of convenient that you just happen to have a Mushroom Shake along the. Oh, our first pixel,
Yeah,
Throw.
look at this. So yeah, Throw is the pixel I mentioned earlier. So I'll be using him right now. We can use all pixels with the 1 button. I can basically grab items or enemies and then throw them. So it's a pretty cool feature. We'll be using him mainly for a decent chunk of Chapter 1 here. So, but after that, he kind of gets a little bit forgotten, unfortunately.
So, if any of you guys have put 2 and 2 together, you would have realized that we would have skipped getting this pixel if you were to do livestream jump and to skip getting the bridge, or green bridge skip. The game actually gives you the pixels at the end of the section for certain pixels, that is. Boomer being one of them, Throw being one of them. If you actually complete the level without getting them, the game says, well, this pixel is missing you, so here you go.
Yeah, it just hands them to you. You start off with the pixel in the next section. It's really weird. And the weirder part is that it doesn't actually work for all pixels, which is kind of unfortunate for us, since it could possibly save quite a lot of time. But, you know, you can only wish for so much, unfortunately. So yeah, right now, I basically went into Old Man Watch's house. I talked to him, told him to calm the green guy down, which normally when you're playing this game, you're meant to go to the green guy's house first. He'll tell you to go away and then he doesn't want to put the bridge down, but you can actually just go to watch it first and skip having to go to the green guy, so it's a little bit of a time save.
Yep. Normally when he throws you out of the house, you'd get really angry in a casual setting, but it's pretty convenient, actually, as a speedrunner.
Yeah. So, now that we're starting Chapter 1-3, I'm gonna do a little bit of a grinding section here. I don't believe...
points as you can.
Yeah, I'm about to level up here, which is good. The next level up is at 20,000 points here. So, we're gonna get a couple items here. Gonna go really fast. I just leveled up right there, which is good. Ooh, okay. I got an extra shroom shake just in case. That's pretty cool.
Ooh, nice.
Alright, what I did right there is I jumped under the red tree 10 times, and that's kind of our first instance of just knowing the secret to go fast. What you're normally supposed to do... That was... Okay. What you're normally supposed to do there is you're supposed to go way far into the level, find a sign that'll tell you to jump under the red tree 10 times, and then once you do that, the door to the next area will spawn. But since we just know that due to prior knowledge, we can just skip having to find the statue, and it saves quite a lot of time.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool movement tech, like you just saw JCR did this cool thing where he jumped on the squiglet rock, and then it completely skips having to get the little 3D switch there.
Yeah. It's a pretty nifty trick. So, this guy right here is O'Chunks. This is going to be our first boss fight of the run. First of many, of course, but he is pretty easy here. he can be a little rough having to do him this method that I'm about to do right now. Okay. Okay, and yes. Alright, perfect.
Nice. Good job.
So, yeah. That was pretty
Sorry, I'll be quiet.
you're fine, dude. But what I was gonna say real quick is that what I did there is I basically shake the Wii Remote right as I'm jumping on him, and that will do a stylish move whenever you shake the Wii Remote. And basically that keeps me in the air longer, and he'll just jump up after me, which is pretty cool.
So he's also doing a trick right now.
Yeah, there we go, I got it. So.
Nice. So that's called ICS, Ice Chirble Skip. So it saves about 16 seconds, which is it's a pretty cool trick where you don't have to go onto the moving platforms and wait for them to go across. But also something really annoying about Chunks is there's a chance while you're in the air he can grab you and then he like throws you around the room, and basically it loses a lot of time. So that's just another inconvenience about fighting O-Chunks, is there's a random chance that could happen.
Yeah, and another thing I did there is on that blue pillar, I pressed 1 and minus at the same time, which, once again, you had to traverse through a giant part of the level just to find a statue that told you to press 1 and minus on the blue, like, pillar thing. So, again, to prior knowledge, we save a lot of time. And that kind of exists all throughout the run in a bunch of different chapters, so... So this is chapter 1-4. I should probably mention that each chapter is consisted of 4 like little sub-chapters, and the 4th one will always have the final boss of each level. Well, for all but like 1 chapter, but we'll get to that. So it's a pretty cool setup. I actually like it, but all the chapters are usually different. Some are like concurrent levels where they kind of just continue. They make some good use of the chapter mechanic all throughout this game, which I really like. So
yeah, it goes from like a really structured system in this game, and then it just gets like really confusing, and then it goes back to structure, and then it goes back to confusing.
Yeah.
This game just kind of throws you for a loop every.
Yeah, this game's very confusing sometimes. Sick. Alright, I just did a trick with Thoreau there, where if you press 2 while you're not moving on a ladder, you can actually just fall off the ladder. And by doing that at the very top, by doing that at the very top of the ladder, I can actually use Thoreau to hit that block, instead of what I'm normally supposed to do, which is grab a squig and then throw it at the whatever it was, the blue block. So
yeah,
it saves just a little bit of time, which is pretty cool. Shoutouts to Hydro in chat. He's done a lot with testing and a bunch of stuff. He's pretty active in the Discord, so he's a good man.
So you're about to see what used to be called the hardest boss in the entire game. It's this ladder right over here.
Yeah, very, very difficult. It actually used to be very difficult with the old route that we did, because we used to flip right as we got into the previous room, and that basically took down our 3D meter quite a bit. And just by the way it worked, when you got onto that ladder, you would be basically really like racing your 3D meter to like beat the clock and get on the ladder. like whenever you get hit in 3D, and if you're on a ladder, you'll just fall straight off. So it was a really tough part in the run, but it was kind of rerouted. So we flipped into 3D a little later, and we saved a little bit of our 3D meter, so that the ladder is not too bad anymore.
That's a pretty big time loss. Having to redo that entire ladder all over again.
Yeah. Alright, so basically that was it for... Okay, sick. I leveled up again, that's awesome. That was it for Chapter 1 for the level, and we're gonna be facing our first boss of the game. Our first, like, main chapter boss, rather. So...
You already leveled up to be